Hey, good morning, guys. It's Goose here. Welcome to STN Stock Talk with Ricky and myself. Ready for a great Monday and to start off the week. Awesome. Guys, just hopefully you guys have checked out our site, stocktraders.net. Unbelievable online trading community we have there. We got a lot of new things coming out. I know Ricky's talked about Tron quite a bit. It's going to be incredible for our community. I think a chance to win a supercar ride to Scotland with Monaco Trader, pretty awesome. But I do want to remind you guys that everything that we're covering in these ideas and things like that, I just want to make sure you guys understand these are just our thoughts of the day. We try to cover a couple different names for you guys and what's going on, maybe pre-market. None of this is any type of solicitation. Make sure you guys read the disclaimer below. We encourage you guys. It doesn't cost you anything to join up at stocktraders.net, join the free trading area, get to know a couple people, see if it fits your liking or not, as well as being able to just message us and say, hey, what did you mean about NTNX or whatever we're covering in the morning, or what were you seeing in this? I saw it differently. Open up another line of communication, maybe, teach yourself new strategies, new ways to look at things. It's we always want to get sharper every day when we're in this business. It's a challenging business, and it's all about longevity, and you always have to sharpen your pencil in it. So with that being said, I'm going to turn this right over to Ricky. I know he's got a few really good ones that he's done some research on. I'm excited to hear, and then I'll be back at you with a couple of them, and looking forward to a great Monday. So Ricky, off to you, man.
Thanks a lot, Goose, and as always, thanks for joining us, guys. This is Ricky Analog. Hope you had a great weekend. So Goose covered Tron. I just want to point out we also have discounts on Trade the News. The community is always growing, but we need your help to continue growing, guys. So make sure you share this broadcast, smash that thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications so you do not miss this, and tell people on Twitter what you guys are thinking about the stream. And, come join the chat, message us, and give us feedback. We would love to hear your thoughts on how we're doing, how we can improve. We're always looking for ideas, guys, and we're trying to grow this community. So that being said, I'm going to jump right into my watch list, and let me get my charts. First thing on the watch, guys, is VSTM. So they have, I think, about 50 million left on their ATM, but they also have a credit facility that just increased in size due to them finally getting their NDA filed with the FDA. So they still have like another 35 million that they can use in credit. So I don't think they necessarily need to tap that ATM. And they had $82 million in cash at the end of the fiscal year in 2017. They use about 4.8 million a month, so they should have enough cash for the year. They got about a little over 50 million in the OS. 22 million shares are held by funds, guys. So that puts the tradable float somewhere around 28 million. And I probably will not get interested in this for a short until probably 5 to 550. There's just not enough meat on the bone right now, but I'm just mentioning it in case it does get that move. Now, I will tell you, back when they had that ATM fresh, this was one of the most amazing shorts ever when they did tap that ATM right at the open. And I can't remember if it was this one back here in December or if it was this gap up in September of last year, but you will know when this company hits the ATM because they hit it hard, and the opening price action is very indicative. That being said, I really want this thing higher before I even consider it, but keeping it on the list in case we get there. Next thing on the list, guys, is APOP. Now, this is definitely one that is much more interesting for me as far as a short because of how it always gives back its gains. So they should have around 6.5 million shares in the OS. It's an Israeli biotech, which I don't know if that resonates with you enough, but for me, that's always a red flag. They got about 265,000 shares in warrants at $12.07, another 267K at $12. They did a registered direct offering in January where about 500,000 shares were sold at $8.25. They do not burn a whole lot of cash, but they are still cash flow negative. 2 directors hold almost 1 million shares. Now, these are ADS we're talking about. The ordinary shares, I believe it's 20 ADS for every, it's 1 ADS for every 20 ordinary shares. There's also a fund that holds about 720,000 ADS, and they have 30,000 warrants at $7.50. This one I will be interested in a short if we can get a nice shove up to 9, maybe 10 would look real good just for that round psych number, guys. As always, the price action's got to set up properly for us. I need to see some lower highs and something to put risk against. The next thing on the list is TRPX. This, guys, is a former OTC uplisted. It's another Israeli bio, red flag. Very low float, though. Should be around 2.5 to 3 million. The filings are not very recent. I believe they should have a fiscal year 10. Well, actually, it's a foreign, so it should be their annual filing coming soon. But as of now, all I have is September's numbers to go off when they had 10.7 million in cash, and they only burned about 350K a month. So the cash situation is not that bad, and it does have SSR on right now. So you need to be careful not to be early to this party. They're up on a study, phase 2, blah, blah, blah. They had 16 subjects. It's just an efficacy study, guys, and 2 of the 16 subjects dropped out of the study. So to me, the results aren't that great. It had a good p-value, but still, they're going to need to do a phase 3, and this is for cannabinoids, which is CBD, the pot stuff. It's an on and off sector. When they're on, they run. But right now, I haven't seen a whole lot of them getting legs yet. But they will have to do a phase 3 on it, and there's only one other drug they got they're working on. Real quick, I just want to mention RGNX. I know it wasn't on the list, but it's gapping huge. It's a sympathy play to the buyout on, what was the buyout? AVDX or ADVX? AVXS. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, it's just a simp play, and I wanted to point out a few things. They got a 31.6 million OS, but 27 million shares are held by institutions. If this thing gets up to about 36, I will be looking to get short on this. But as always, needs the setup, guys. So stay patient out there and wait for those setups. That's it for me. I'm going to pass it back to my man, Goose. Take it away, bro.
Hey, good job as always, man. And just to touch base on TRPX, I love your idea on that and your thought process. Great work on the phase 2 stuff. I'm also looking at a really strong short on this as well. If you guys already look, I don't need to pull up the chart on the TRPX. You already had it up. But if you just do the quick math, it's already done a 60% retrace on the pre-market actions, pulled back to that, whatever it was, 580 area, which was. So let's see what it does. I think this next push into the 7s, I'm hoping it waits till the market opens, and you never know, maybe 750 or in that area, we could get a little starting point on it. But I really love the idea on a phase 2 study. I know it is a lower float, so we'll keep an eye on that. And it has an SSR, but it's definitely on my top watch as well. So good job on that.
Noting on that, it is easy to borrow at Wedbush. I haven't looked over IV yet, but
yeah, I know Vision, it was hard to borrow, but I haven't looked over at ETC or a couple of the other places yet. So just want to add a quick note, but I love that idea as well. I'm going to jump right into NTNX, guys. What I'm looking for at NTNX and why the fade on this. I know we're going to have it looks like we're going to have an up market at the open. Is I kind of drew a little bit of a line here, horizontal line, and what I'm looking for is it closed below the 20-day. It had its big fail here, had its little push back into the 20-day, and actually failed it again. You could see 2 highs in a row. On this name, 5206 and like 5215 was it, 5221. So what I'm looking for on this one is another little push with the market up. It's already showing up $1.50 or $1.60 this morning, but I would love to get as close to 52 as I can and use that level as a guide to fade it off of. And I actually am, I think this is heading back down towards that 48, 47 area. And I think there's a really nice short trade setting up on this name. I won't fight it if it wants to go with the market and all that. Like we always put our disclaimers in there about trading against the market and things like that. Let's just be smart. If it wants to blast through that 52 area, I will keep my eye on it for that lower high. I think this is a really good setup as far as on the daily. So NTNX from the short side, definitely love that one. And just one more I wanted to cover this morning was RENN. Listen, I'm not saying it's the greatest name in the world or anything like that, but the daily looks good to me. And you guys know by now that have been following me for a while, and a lot of times it works, is when you see these things start closing over the 20, the 50, the 200 day, and you got the pivot here, they start looking a little bit appetizing. So, what I'm looking for, it's gotten a little bit of a perk in volume. It's really low volume name right now, but I always try to catch in right before the volume starts ramping up quite a bit. And all of a sudden you're trading 1 million shares, you're up $1 and you miss a trade. Kind of like on XNet when I covered that the other day. You want to get it right before that volume move. So I'm hoping now that it's closed over these levels that maybe with the market up, today's the day that we get a little volume ramp in this thing, push through 10 up into this 1050 or so. I drew a line just to show you some prior areas this 1070 area. I'm not looking for it to go back up to 15 or anything like that. Just looking for a nice, quick push through 10 up to 1050 area, and I'll take my trade. But I want to make sure my entry, and I have a nice guide also to use. I'll use this right here to see this 920 area, which is right at that 50-day area. That's where I'm going to use as a guide as far as for my entry and what I want to do. When I say a guide, as far as whether to take the trade off, revisit it, and stuff like that. So I won't have a hard stop in at that area, but it will definitely be an area of interest for me to make sure it's either making a higher low, holding, or I take off the position. So that's it for me today, guys. I'm going to keep it short. It's a Monday. There's a ton of stuff out there, so I like to be a little bit more reactionary on days like this and see what's going on, see what's hitting the turbo scan. I'll be all over that turbo scan this morning, and just keep an eye. Remember to keep an eye on the market, the SPY, and don't fight things. And if you're looking at names like NVIDIA and Facebook and stuff like that, make sure you understand if the market's coming in, you got to adjust your thinking on those things and not get overly biased. So start of the week. Let's have a great day today, guys. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow at 9:05, and I'll send it back to you, Ricky, to close us out.
Thanks a lot, Goose. And I love that idea on NTNX. It always makes me smile when you join me on the dark side. Always with these short ideas. It's rare to hear your shorts, but when you are looking short, then I know something is juicy over there. Anyway, guys, as always, if you don't have a plan, you don't have a trade. Come over to stocktraders.net and get yourself a plan. Let's go out there and crush it, guys. Peace.